humanity has always pushed the boundaries of the impossible. From fire to flight, from medicine to artificial intelligence, we have never stopped innovating. But what happens when progress goes too far, when curiosity becomes obsession, and ambition turns into destruction? In a world where science can rewrite reality, where evolution is no longer natural but engineered, the very fabric of existence begins to crack. It starts as a miracle, a technological leap that promises to elevate humanity to godlike status. But soon, the balance of power shifts. The line between human and machine blurs, ethics become an afterthought, and those who seek ultimate control begin shaping the world in their own image. At first, the changes seem like progress. Diseases are eradicated, lifespans extended, minds enhanced beyond imagination. But the cost is greater than anyone could have foreseen. As nature fights back and reality itself destabilizes, the world is left in ruins. Now, those who remain must face the consequences of their reckless pursuit of power. As civilization stands on the edge of annihilation, one question remains: can humanity undo the greatest mistake it has ever made, or is this the beginning of a new, terrifying era where the old world is lost forever? It began with a breakthrough so profound that it promised to change the course of human history forever. Scientists, pushing the limits of physics, stumbled upon a discovery that allowed the direct manipulation of reality at the quantum level. The first tests were awe-inspiring: matter reshaped at will, diseases cured in seconds, and energy harnessed from the very fabric of space itself. Governments and tech conglomerates rushed to claim ownership, investing billions into research that promised to usher in a new era of human advancement. What started as a tool for progress soon became a battleground, as world powers weaponized the technology to gain the ultimate edge. A device capable of altering reality at its most fundamental level could rewrite history, reshape entire civilizations, or create gods out of men. It was only a matter of time before ethical concerns were cast aside in the pursuit of dominance. Human augmentation became the next logical step: cybernetic implants to increase intelligence, neural interfaces to bypass the need for speech or physical input, and bioengineered bodies that could withstand the extremes of space and time. Soon, those who embraced this transformation no longer saw themselves as human in the traditional sense. They were something more, something greater, something beyond. The gap between the enhanced and the unmodified widened until society fractured into two opposing forces: those who sought to push further into this new evolution and those who saw it as a path to inevitable destruction. As enhancements became commonplace, the natural order of life began to unravel. The planet, once struggling under the weight of human excess, found itself under even greater strain as reality itself started to break. Time began to distort in areas where experimental technology was deployed, leading to anomalies, places where the past and future collided, where the laws of physics no longer applied. Entire cities vanished, replaced by echoes of their past selves, while others found themselves frozen in time, inhabitants trapped in an unending moment. The very ecosystem began to rebel, as organisms mutated in unpredictable ways, adapting to this new unstable reality. Strange phenomena swept across the planet's skies that burned with colors unseen before: gravitational shifts that pulled entire regions into the void, storms that whispered in forgotten languages. What once seemed like the dawn of a new golden age was now spiraling into a chaotic nightmare. Governments lost control, as their leaders, augmented beyond recognition, no longer shared the concerns of mere mortals. Those who resisted the changes were exiled or hunted down as obstacles to progress. A war unlike any seen before erupted, not fought with weapons of mass destruction, but with reality itself as the battlefield. Time loops became prisons, entire dimensions collapsed, and people found themselves rewritten, their memories altered to serve the whims of their creators. Civilization as it once was ceased to exist, replaced by fractured remnants of what humanity used to be. But even the most powerful could not stop what was coming next. The reckless tampering with fundamental forces had set an irreversible chain reaction in motion. A singularity event, unintended and uncontrollable, threatened to consume everything. The very fabric of existence was tearing apart at the seams, a cataclysm triggered not by war or famine but by pure, unbridled ambition. Those who had once believed themselves to be gods now realized they had been playing with forces far beyond their comprehension. The great reckoning had begun. Desperate, the remaining unaltered humans and a handful of remorseful augmented beings sought a way to reverse the damage. They theorized that by shutting down the reality-warping technology and resetting the quantum anomalies, they might be able to undo the destruction. But to do so meant sacrificing everything, undoing every advancement, every augmentation, every leap forward that had defined the new humanity. It was a choice between survival and progress, between continuing as something unrecognizable or returning to a state that many had already deemed obsolete. The great war between the enhanced and the unaltered reached its peak, with time itself becoming a weapon wielded by both sides. Some sought to erase the past entirely, to create a world where none of these events had ever transpired. Others, unwilling to relinquish their newfound power, fought to preserve what they had become, even if it meant existing in a dying universe. In the final moments before collapse, a decision was made. A group of scientists, hidden deep within an underground facility untouched by the chaos, activated the fail-safe, a device designed not to repair but to reset. It would erase the last century of advancements, returning humanity to a point before the discovery of reality manipulation. There was no way to know what would happen after the reset, whether they would awaken to a world where none of this had ever happened or if they would cease to exist entirely. As the countdown reached 0, the world trembled one last time. Then, silence. The sun rose over a familiar Earth, one where no time anomalies plagued the skies, where reality remained stable, where humanity still struggled with the mundane challenges of life. Those who had fought to reverse the damage awoke in their beds, memories of the war and its horrors fading like a forgotten dream. The world had been rewritten, history corrected, the great mistake undone. But somewhere, deep within the collective subconscious of humanity, a lingering whisper remained, a feeling that something had been lost, something beyond comprehension. And in the darkest corners of the world, in laboratories hidden away from prying eyes, some still searched, still wondered, still reached for the forbidden knowledge that had once nearly destroyed them. Because humanity, no matter how many chances it is given, will always seek to go beyond its limits, no matter the cost. But it didn't take long for the cycle to begin anew. Even as humanity settled back into its mundane existence, there were those who could not shake the feeling that something was missing. Fringe scientists, rogue thinkers, and hidden societies began digging into the past, searching for anomalies that didn't quite make sense. Artifacts that should not exist, records of experiments that had supposedly never taken place, whispers of an age where humans had become something else entirely. Curiosity turned to obsession, and soon, the search for lost knowledge became an underground movement. Some believed the answers lay in forgotten ruins, places where the timeline had been unstable before the reset. Others believed that remnants of the augmented beings might still exist, hiding in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to emerge. The pursuit of lost power, once thought erased, was beginning again. As the first pieces of forbidden knowledge were uncovered, humanity was at a crossroads once more. Would they repeat the same mistakes, rushing headlong into the abyss in pursuit of ultimate power, or had they learned from their past, now equipped with the wisdom to wield such knowledge responsibly? The answer, as always, lay in the hearts of those who sought to push beyond the limits of what it meant to be human. For better or for worse, the cycle of ambition and consequence was destined to continue. And this time, the universe might not be so forgiving. The echoes of the past were still present, guiding those who would listen, warning those who sought too much. But history had shown that warnings were rarely heeded. And so, in hidden chambers and secretive laboratories, humanity's next great mistake was already being written, waiting for its moment to unfold once more.